Yo, Elliot! So we had a question from our buddy who wants to grow taller. He's about 5'8", and he wants to know, are there exercises? Is there a program? In fact, someone told me that swimming will support me in my height gains, and he wants to know if Elliot Health has any ideas. Look, dude, if there was, I would have done it already. I'm only about 5'9", so I'm a little bit shorter than you. And when I played football, that was the limiting factor in many of my recruitment endeavors. You know, I was undersized for a lot of the positions I played, especially in high school and in my early college days. So if I knew how to add 4 or 5 inches to my height, trust me, I would have discovered it, because I was back then we really didn't have the internet to the degree that you guys have right now. So I was in the library every day reading books about strength and fitness and anything that I could do to enhance my football performance. And height was one of the limiting things for me. So that being said, there's no way to lengthen your bones that I've discovered. There's no way to actually get taller. But there are exercises that will support your posture in such a way that you may add 1 or maybe 2 inches to your height. Now, it's not that your bones are getting longer. It's not that you're actually growing taller. What you're doing is you're getting rid of muscular imbalances that most people generally have that cause you to slump down a little bit, right? So I'm going to go over some of the most general muscular imbalances that squash people down. You know, and they say when you get older, you start getting shorter. Well, you don't necessarily get shorter, your posture just gets more fucked up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work to support your posture right now, as it is. I'm gonna give you a few different options as to, you know, a way to discover what type of posture you have. And then what you're gonna wanna do for the rest of your waking days, the rest of your life, you're going to wanna use exercises that support good posture. My grandmother's, I guess you could call my grandfather, they just got married, right? Old people get married. But my grandmother's husband, he's like 90 years old, and the dude is as straight in as an arrow. I mean, he walks around and he's in great shape. He trains, he works out, he plays tennis. He's 90 years old and he plays fucking tennis. The reason why he's nice and tall and straight as an arrow is because he exercises, he trains, he knows how to stretch, and he knows some of the things I'm gonna share with you right now. So, 2 basic postures that distort your physique and cause you to grow shorter are, I've described this in other videos, but it's sort of what you would call a kypholordotic. I don't know if you guys can see me, but this is where the upper back rounds and the butt sticks out. So you've got an excessive curve in 2 portions of your spine, usually actually 3, but it's most obvious where your low back is really curved in, caved in, and the upper back is sort of rounded forward. Just imagine, look at your spine, right? Imagine your spine was pulled straight out. There's supposed to be about I think about a 20-degree curve. I could be wrong. In each segment of your spine, right? That's your lumbar, that's your thoracic, and that's your cervical. Imagine you straighten it out, right? Right away, the thing is, it's taller. It's a longer spine. Then take it and push it back down. If you push the spinal column down, that S increases. So you've got an increased curvature in the lumbar spine and increased curvature in the thoracic spine, and they end up looking like this, right? Of course, I'm exaggerating, but look how much shorter I just got, right? So what you want to do is you want to use exercises. I have so many videos about this, so you guys can search my channel. But you can use exercises that support bringing those excessive curves back into a functional position, back into a functional curve. It shouldn't be so curved, right? Starting with the hips, if you have an excessive curve in your low back, your butt sticks out a lot, you probably have really tight hip flexors. That's the muscles in the front of your thighs. Yep, right here. They tie into your low back. They actually grow shorter as they get tighter, and they pull a curve in your lumbar spine. So you're gonna wanna stretch those, stretch your hip flexors. You're also going to want to strengthen the opposite muscle of your hip flexors. A lot of people don't know this, or they might even argue with this, because this is a broad statement. There's a little bit more to it than just this. But your deep abdominal wall, your pelvic floor, your transversus abdominis, your lower abdominals, they would call it, is the muscle that opposes the hip flexors. So as you strengthen your deep abdominal wall by doing tummy vacuums and doing You know, a lot of Pilates is a good exercise modality that helps strengthen what they call your powerhouse, but anything that strengthens that lower abdominal, right? And you know you're strengthening your lower abdominals because your butt starts to tuck under a little bit, right? You pull your belly in, your butt will sort of tuck under a little bit, right? That's going to support you in reducing that excessive lumbar curve. Right? There's a little bit more to it. You know, there's also the fact that your hamstrings are probably a bit loose. You might want to strengthen your hamstrings, and your low back is probably a bit tight, so you probably need to stretch your low back. So take notes on these videos. I used to use whiteboards. I've got videos about where I'm talking on whiteboards about this shit. You guys have been, I almost have fucking 1,000 videos. Take notes, right? How much easier can I make it for you? So that's called the lower cross. That's called the lower cross syndrome, and it's going to cause that Donald Duck butt sticking out. The upper cross is associated with tight pecs, right across the front of your shoulders here. Boom, tight bicep. They cause medial rotation of the upper arm, right? You're also probably gonna have tight sternocleidomastoid muscles right here that cause your neck to stick out. And you're gonna have weak, so obviously, let me slow down. You're gonna have to stretch those muscles, stretch the pecs, stretch the biceps, stretch the neck, this part of the neck right here, and then strengthen the complete opposite. Your scapular adductors, the muscles that cause your shoulder blades to pinch in and down, right? Exercises like bent over rows, prone cobras are all going to support the strengthening of your mid back. You want to literally supinate and draw those shoulder blades down and together, while at the same time tucking your butt under and activating the deep abdominal wall, right? Because it's a unit. It's not just, I broke it down to upper and lower, but it's a unit. It all works together. So that's your kypholordotic type posture, right? That's one category. There are many categories, but I'm breaking it down into two general categories. Then you've got your sway back, sort of posterior pelvic tilt posture. And this is someone who has a situation where their butt sort of tucks under, the complete opposite of the Donald Duck. Their butt sweeps under. It looks like they've got a long back and no butt. And their hips jut forward. And they almost look like this. Right? Pink Panther is what Paul Chek would have called that person. The Pink Panther posture. You're just kind of like a big C. You're just curved. The other one looks like an S. You look like a C. That person, the upper body stretches are going to be the same, so I won't touch it. You know, most people generally are going to have those tight pec minor, weak scapular adductors. But on the lower cross, it's a bit different. It's going to be the opposite of the other guy. That person usually has really tight hamstrings and really tight abdominals. And they need to stretch. They really actually need to stretch the abdominals. Probably shouldn't be doing very many crunches, this person. The other person should probably do a lot of crunches, a lot of abdominal exercises. The Pink Panther dude, not so much. I would probably avoid it because you're already tight there. That's why you're here, especially from the lower portion up. And the hamstrings are probably really tight. The other guy, don't stretch your hamstrings, dude. This guy, stretch your hamstrings. And then on the strengthening portion, you need to strengthen your hip flexors. You need to strengthen your quads. You need to strengthen your low back. So exercises like hip and back extensions are going to be really helpful for you. Glute ham raise, that Louis Simmons one where you lock your feet into the thing, and reverse hypers are going to be really good for you. A guy like that should, go to a gym that has a reverse hyper machine. And the strengthening of your hip flexors. So an exercise where, I used to do this when I did capoeira for a couple months, but you put your back up against the wall, you lift your knee, right? So that everything's still up against the wall, and you just kick your leg out. Boom, boom, you just kick the leg out. That's gonna support you in developing your hip flexors. So that's it. Again, look, these are tips that might add a little bit of length to your spinal column, a little bit of length to your posture. It's not really making you taller, but it's giving you the appearance of being an upright person with strong posture. And that's always more attractive than someone who's squashed down like an S or slumped over like a C. All right, dude? So hope that helps. I'm sure that helped a lot of people with a lot of other things, because those dysfunctional postural patterns lead to all types of pain, dysfunction, and lack of performance. Talk to you next time. Yo, Elliot.